Hello y'all, welcome back to my channel. I've got Ava with me again today. Hello. And I am going to teach her how to make homemade buttermilk southern biscuits today. She has never had a homemade biscuit before, and we are going to use the recipe on the back of the White Lily self-rising flour bag. And I already got my parchment sheet paper ready, which I just use wax paper. And a trick that I should have told y'all that my mama taught me is if you wet your countertop before you put your wax paper down, it'll keep your wax paper from moving. So my parchment paper down, I'm going to take my flour and I'm just gonna put this all over my parchment paper, so that just gives me somewhere like a base so the stuff doesn't stick. Also have flour on my hands. And I've got this rolling pin, which we're gonna need for our biscuits. And another hack, you're gonna wanna take your flour and you're gonna wanna rub the flour all over your rolling pin. That way when you're rolling out your biscuits, it doesn't stick.
Yeah, and I don't know how to do this either, so she's teaching me at the same time.
Yeah, so y'all are all learning together.
We were gonna do this a few videos ago. That was when we did the pumpkin bread, but they didn't have the buttermilk at Dollar General, so we were like, let's just make pumpkin bread instead.
So we remembered our buttermilk today when we went to Aldi, so we got our brand new thing of buttermilk.
Yep.
Got our bowl, got our Crisco, so we're gonna take 2 cups of the White Lily flour, dump it in the bowl.
It doesn't have to be exact.
Yeah, or you can just make a mess like I do.
But baking is always much more fun when it's messy.
Alright y'all, so I had forgotten to make sure I had a clean spoon. So I'm taking my good old-fashioned Crisco, and you need 1/4 of a cup, so I just kind of keep adding into my measuring cup. I've tried to eyeball it before, but I'm not that much of a master cook yet. So I'm not my grandmother, so I gotta use a measuring cup. And I still think I might have a little too much. So I've got my 1/4 of a cup of Crisco. I'm just going to, which is just the same thing as shortening, gonna add that into our bowl. And I'm going to take this little cutter right here, and we're going to put this in here, and we're going to work the dough to make it dough. And so we're actually just gonna put this in here, and we're gonna just cut this shortening. And be careful because this is sharp. Just cut that in like that. And then I just like to run it, I took my wedding rings off, and so now I'm going to just work this in until they become like little pea-size amounts. I'm just working this. It's kind of hard to see because the bowl's white too, but I'm just working this. I'm gonna make this into like little pea-size amounts. Then I am going to add my buttermilk after I've got this pretty much all mixed up, where it's just kind of like little balls, kind of like the size of peas, so there's no big chunks of shortening or anything. Then I'm going to add my buttermilk, which now my mixing bowl is gross. I'm going to clean that out so I can actually see where I'm going. So you want to make sure you shake up your buttermilk really good, because buttermilk can be a little clumpy. So we got 3/4 cup of our buttermilk. We're gonna add that in there. Then you're gonna take a fork and just stir it up to begin with. And then, like I did before, I'm just gonna take my hand. You don't wanna overwork your dough. So the less you move your dough around, the softer your biscuits will be. So you wanna just kind of take them and toss them.
And like do like the bare minimum so that you can get the best amount of.
Yeah, so you want them to be soft. I wish I cared about cooking when my grandmother used to make homemade biscuits and gravy, because she was
a pro.
Yeah, she made some bomb biscuits. So you'll just get all this flour mixed in, and you're gonna transport your dough. Let me see if I can. So you're just gonna transport your dough
to the wax paper where you already had
like I said, if you had
some flour.
listened to myself and I had a good amount of flour on my hands, this would not have stuck like it did. So I'm gonna wash my hands, put some flour on my hands, and then I'll be right back. All right, y'all, so I washed my hands and I have floured my hands really good, and I've got my dough nice and floured. I'm gonna take my pre-floured rolling pin, just gonna kind of flatten this out like this. I'm gonna roll it in like a
burrito.
Yeah.
Like a soft burrito.
Got it like in a burrito, and I tried this before where I like took a cup and broke them off, but I have found that if you just roll it kind of like in a burrito, like in a little log like this that y'all can see, and break it off and form them with your hand, that they turn out the best. So I'm gonna get out our baking pan, and then we will start rolling them and put them on the pan. Alright, y'all, so I'm back. I've got my non-sprayed pan, so I don't spray my pan before I put biscuits on it. And on the White Lily package it says to preheat your oven to 475. Our oven cooks really unevenly, not easily, unevenly. So I put it on 425, that way I can watch it. I like my biscuits crispy, but the rest of the family does not. So we're just gonna pinch off, and I already have flour all over my shirt, so yeah, you know you're doing it right. Right here, I'm just gonna roll them, pat them, see about how big they are. Then we're gonna put them in the corner, touching the corner.
Do you need to put down the spray to make sure they don't stick?
Nope, we're not spraying them. We're gonna do another one, just roll them, not too much, or you're gonna make your dough tough. Just kind of pat them out. And these you want touching.
Oh.
So they're sisters, not friends. So you'll just do that until your dough is all gone. Flatten them out, pat them. And remember, touching, so you're gonna wanna push them together, make sure they're touching, and you just keep going. I'm gonna make that one just.
Do you wanna use more dough if you wanna make them better,
yes.
More serving?
So this is just one serving off of the White Lily packaging. So I can't remember, these might make like 8 biscuits or something like that. Doesn't make a ton.
But if you wanna make like 20 or 20
so yeah, so you
plus.
just double or triple your recipe, you know, whatever. But we're just kind of doing a starter recipe. So if you want to give them a try, just kind of pat them out. And I'm going to start in the next row, but they're still going to be touching, and you want them touching the side. Just kind of flatten it out. And then I'll show you a little trick that I like to do at the very end. So yeah, so this will make 8. Just pat it out. Lay it up, make sure they're all touching. For whatever, well, this one's gonna be a little guy. For whatever reason, them touching just makes all the difference. So, got these, they're all touching, put them all smushed out. Let me move my wax paper so I can show y'all and make a mess. All right, so y'all can see my biscuits. I'm gonna take my knuckles and I'm just gonna rock back and forth in the centers of my biscuits, and that just gives it a nice little homemade touch at the end. I don't know why, it adds the touch. And then we're gonna just do that on every one. This little guy at the end looks like a good tester. Then just kind of go back, mash them real good. So he's got little knuckle marks in them, and then we're gonna put them in the oven for about 8 to 10 minutes, but I always like to check mine, and then we'll show you what they look like when they get out. All right, y'all, so they cooked about 10 minutes, I think. We just took them out of the oven. They look so good. We just melted butter. And so what I like to do is just stir up the butter and just put some, oh, you can hear it sizzling.
This is hot.
Yes, and then you just put the melted butter on each biscuit. And you see how when we made the imprints, how it leaves that nice, gives them just that rounded, home-cooked feeling. And I just got my basting brush off of Amazon. And we just have a little bit of leftover butter.
It's actually been like...
Is it online?
It's like what to do in your YouTube video stuff process. It's actually a thing. First thing that popped up.
All right, y'all, so this is the final product. All right, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed us making our first ever Southern buttermilk homemade biscuits, and I will drop the recipe in below, and comment down below if you want to see more cooking videos where we teach Ava how to cook things, because she's a beginner cook. So make sure, comment, like, and subscribe, and we love y'all, and we'll see y'all later. Bye.